All right, so yeah, what are we doing here? We got the React Native, yeah, the charts. We isolated the charts into their own component, so it's cleaner. And yeah, we one viewer suggested that we use the Victory Native library for our charts. We came to this result. We have achieved this result, but there were like still some issues in regards of the styling of the charts and what we could do with the API, etc. So yeah, we totally need to rethink how, like, even whether we want to continue using the victory chart or there's like a different thing, because theming for this, yeah, it's a bit mess. For example, there's like a theme, there's a bar chart right here, and even if I say data color red and that's based on their doc side, we don't see any red color in the chart. So I figured the way that we can start this live stream is by doing some research on chart libraries for React Native and like picking one that would make sense for us. So yeah, let's actually see that. First, we're gonna start with chart libraries for React Native, of course. And let's see what we get. React Native SVG, I think this one, this is usually a dependency of the other chart kit. I think this is the first library that I used. And of course, there were still some issues with this as well. Bar charts. There's the data. Yeah, this is the first library that I actually used. You can see there's like a 2.4k stars. I'm not sure about the npm stats. We should check that, but yeah, we'll have this in mind. I'm also curious to see if for example, other charting libraries would work. Oh, nice. It has been archived. Okay, this repo has victory monorepo. Can we find it here? Okay, cool. All right, so this one had like a 2k stars. Now we have the victory package right here with 10k stars. That's cool. Interactive data visualization. So inside of the packages, there is the React Native one. Victory Native. Yeah. So yeah, the issue is that I still can't figure out how can we change the styling of our charts. Let's check out the chat. If you're watching, like, say hello in the chat so I can see how it looks like on my end, because I don't want to miss your messages. But yeah, I'm also willing to give this library another shot. Maybe we'll figure out how. Victory bar. We're using the victory bar. There's the victory chart, and inside we have the victory bar. So we have the theme on chart level, and then we have the victory bar, which is basically the bar chart right here. We have the corner radius, and that gets applied, as you can see, because we have the top left and the top right. That's okay. We have the days as well, and I'm just pulling the first and second letter of the day variable, which is like the full name of the day, Monday. This one just renders MO. There's the width as well, and I believe we can minimize the padding just a little bit. there's the feel, there's the style. But then there's also this theme as well, which I don't think we're gonna need. So I'm just going to use the victory theme. See, nothing changed. There's the data fill white. If I change this to, I don't know, green. There we go. Okay, so it does make sense. But the theme is not on the chart level. It's actually on the bar level. And that's confusing. I mean, on the dock side, it was on like on the chart level as I... There we go. See, that theme is here. And then there's also this style. And now I don't even know why we have this theme and we have this style right here. Because if we remove the theme, yeah, as you can see, it's a bit different. And this is actually kind of what we want, without any, yeah, without any grids and stuff like that. So maybe we should like don't provide the... Oh, so now this is confusing. Okay, if we don't provide the theme at all, it has its own base theme. If we provide the theme with just an empty object, it's a different one. And if we go back, okay, let's see, maybe this has like a... Check it out. Victory. We're gonna go to the GitHub and see if, you know, if the base theme that's being used is actually here. Packages. Native. And we are looking for the victory chart component. Components. Charts. Wrap core component. Okay, what is that? Helpers. Wrap core component. The victory chart component comes from the ES. Okay, but then, okay, native victory charts. There's a container background. These are like the default props, and there's also the default props for the victory chart. So victory chart ES. Okay, so let's go back to the packages and open the victory charts and find the chart component here. There we go. So this is probably the victory charts. Yeah, it's a memoized instance of the implementation, which we have at the top here. There's a default. Okay, so the grayscale, victory theme grayscale, beautiful. This is what we want actually. Victory theme grayscale. And where do we get the victory theme from? We get that from the victory core package. Okay, let's actually try to... There's victory theme. Grayscale. Yeah, so we basically, what we can do is spread the grayscale theme and try to, you know, write additional style that's going to target the labels that I'm not sure you can see this, but yeah, there's the numbers of the expenses, of the amount, and also the days at the bottom. They're still present, but they're like really hard to read. Okay, we figured out it's the grayscale. Let's figure out how we can style the labels. The axis probably. Victory label. So yeah, labels are just text. It's not actually part of this. We're looking for layout themes. Yeah, we're looking for the axis basically. Yeah, and this is the... So let me just like zoom out a bit. There we go. So yeah, this is a theme snippet on their website. It has the colors. There are like some base props as well. Oh, labels, base label styles. There we go. So let's see where the base label styles are being used. Centered label styles. Maybe there are these. Okay, so the theme has the axis, fill, stroke, width, and there we go. We have the axis layer. Okay, so we need to access the axis property. There we go. Inside, we can spread this here. Inside, we need the style basically. Do the spread again. Oh man. And then focus on the axis label. And this is gonna have some styles. In here we can see that we have the centered label styles, and then we also add additional padding. But the centered label styles, is basically the base label styles. And we're talking about this. So the fill is charcoal. We need, if we can change the fill to white, these labels should change their color, but they don't. Okay. Axis label. I really hope I'm doing this right. So we have the axis as the first property, style, and then axis label. This looks okay to me. Axis, style, and then axis label. What if I said sorry about the switches, but there's a stroke, there's a padding, letter spacing, font family. Okay, let's add a padding of 80 and see if that makes sense. And it doesn't. So the theme that we're looking for here. Hold on, I just wanna console log the grayscale thing. How was the JSON dot stringify this? And there was the null and there was the 2 for the spacing. So this is the theme. Let's search for the axis. There's the axis, there's the style, there's the axis label, right? And then we have the fill and we have the padding. So technically, if we pretty much do this outside, like so, and we log out the theme. Hold on, let me just clear the terminal, save it again. There we go. Let's find the axis styles. There's the axis style, axis label, and we only have the fill white. Okay, and even though it doesn't work, so maybe it's gonna change if I did style.axis label and just like override the fill. No. So by the latest changes, we should have a lot more styles for the axis labels. There we go, but the fill is white, so we're just on overriding this, and yet it doesn't actually work. So that's gonna be interesting. There's the bar. We're using the bar chart. We have the style. We have the labels. But these, I think these labels are different type of labels. These are like overlays on top of the bar charts. Let's actually try to play with that. Oh, cool. Alignment start. That's actually what we're missing as well. So let's go. Oh, come on. It's all right. There's the bar. Alignment, we're gonna set that to be the start. Actually, no. Now that I think of it, I think it's okay. Data, there's the fill. What if we add like a margin or a padding? No, it doesn't work. It is the width. Okay. We still can't find a way to actually paint these. It's okay that we don't have the lines, that's all right. We want it to be minimal. But we should be able to change the line color and also these labels. So this is what we're struggling with. Data components, events. Yeah, if we want to click on them, etc. Here's the label component. Yeah. If we change the label based on the bar, these are these labels, but we don't actually utilize the label components here. We don't have labels. We want the axis. And I believe that has to do with the victory charts, not the victory bar. It does make sense, right? So we have the area inside, there's the victory axis. Okay, there's like a what if we try, okay, let's see. What if we bring up the victory axis as a component? Try to add it inside of the charts. Alright, you see that? Now we have only one axis. What if we add another one? No, probably there's like props and stuff. Data. So we have the first one, we have the axis here. If I remove this. Okay, you see that? Okay. Interesting. Then what can we do on top of the axis? So we're looking for victory axis components. Renders a single axis which can be used on its own or composed with the victory charts. Okay. There's a width and height thingy. What if we change this to 200? Yeah, you see that? Got it, yeah. Okay. So having these two, we need to figure out this, and then we still have the theme inside, right? The pendant axis is the vertical one, and what if we add cross axis? Yeah. I don't want to, like, I don't want to do the, you know, the max domain and the min domain and all these calculations. We just need to dip into the styling and change the styling a bit. That's what we actually want. Style. Victor axis. Label is a label. There's a stroke. There's, okay. So basically the red The grid is gonna have a red stroke if the thick is greater than 0.5. So 6, 8, and 1.0 will be red. Okay, that makes sense. Font size and padding. What if I... So that's the... Okay, so then I can also do fill and then say red or like green. There we go. But the actually, we're not looking for the label, right? We're actually looking for the... I'm not sure what we're looking for, but the label is this. We want to change these, the values. Stroke is gray, size is 5. What if we add the fill now? Gave that a yellow. Nope. Thick labels. Actually that's what we want, right? There we go. So we're looking for thick labels. Thick labels. Okay. Where can we find that? The theme should be a victory theme definition. Let's figure this out and then we can bring it back. Victory theme definition. Okay. This probably is not exported. Nope. It's not, so I guess we'll bring this back. We know that we're looking to override the thick labels. Not the axis label, but the thick labels. Yeah. There we go. Okay, finally. Okay, so we're gonna remove the axis because that kind of removes it. And we found exactly what we're looking for. Now we also have the line, so we need to figure out the line as well. And that is the grid basically, I think. No. These are the thicks, but this is the line. The grid. Actually, yeah, it's actually the grid, yeah. So for example, if we did this, the grid is going to be blue, then there we go. So yeah, we're looking for grids. Stroke is going to be also white. Oh man, not that one. But that's on the axis. We're looking for the charts. Axis, style, then we have the grids. Offsets. Maybe it's actually the axis, style, and then the axis. Yeah, axis stroke white actually produces that result. Sweet. Let me just bring up. I'm gonna bring up Figma to actually see the design that we did for the app and try to make it look as close as possible. Okay. So the axis has no color. We have the single letter for the days, but not in this case because that is like the ID. If, for example, S for Saturday and S for Sunday, in our case, using this library is not gonna work, and that's why I introduced the second letter in the name, and also the Tuesday and Thursday. That's not gonna work as well. So I'm not sure we can do the backgrounds. We'll try. But at least we can round the whole bar and get rid of the axis. So we can do transparent for this. This is an error. Or I can even like do this. Yeah. Something's wrong. Expected type comes from property tick labels, which is declared here on type. That one. No match for the value index. Alright, so this tick labels basically is either an object. It's actually an object. String or number or callback. Okay. Label style, Victor label style object. So this needs to be a callback. And then we return a full object. And now this needs to accept Victor label style object, or and that's an object in which the key is one of the label props and the value is string or number or callback. So this is not a callback. I'm spreading this and then the fill is white. Maybe it's the, yeah, it's actually the spread. All right, we're not gonna spread the default labels. What we can do is like add some padding of, I don't know, 8. Yeah, and then like do a font family of, oh, we don't actually have any fonts installed. It's like the default one, the system one. Let's try to find it. System font. Oh, terrible. How can we set, like reset? Is the unset available as a, actually, yeah, no. Okay, so an empty string is okay, but if we remove this, it adds this funky font. We don't actually want that funky font. We'll keep it like this then. Okay, interesting. And the color is actually the secondary. We did have a theme, right? Text secondary. This is what we want to add. The fill, instead of setting the fill to white, we want to do theme. Where's our theme? Colors, text secondary. Okay, if that's the case, so I'm going to import the theme. There we go. Okay, so basically to add these three properties, we needed to override this on top of the grayscale. So that was the, yeah, that's not clean. Instead of corner radius being an object, we want to keep it as a number, and we'll just do 8. No. If I say top is 8, then bottom is 8 as well. Yep, that works. Now can we manage to add the background? Because I think the background adds a nice touch. Also, minus 32. Let's see if we can add. No. Just background. Okay, just background then. Victory. Okay, victory style object. Background color is red, and it's nowhere to be. Okay. So there's still this, which I don't like, because width is set to this. What if we did, I don't know, width is like 100%? Is that gonna work? No. So the width oh man, the width needs to be a number. That's why we put the dimensions on get. To return the window, so we can have the whole width of the window as the width of the charts. And there's still like padding, as you can see. Domain padding, X is 32. Let's get rid of that. We actually need that. Maybe not like 32. We can make it 20. Even less. Like we can make it 16. That's about right. But this is the domain padding. Is there any other padding that I should know about? 0. Okay. Sweet. Alright, so maybe this is it. Like, we can do left and set that to 16. And we can do right and set that to 16 as well. And that's not enough. So we need like 32 probably. Okay. Then we have the top, and probably 32 is the number we're looking for. Or even 16 in this case. Yeah. Then we can do bottom 16 as well. More 32. Okay. Right? Yeah. Like a padding on this thing as well. Oh, it's on. No, we're not looking for the bar, we're looking for the whole chart. So I'm going to add 16 on these, because this is like at the edge of the screen. So 32 will turn into 48. Now that is too much. What about 40? Then it's something in between, so that'll be 36. Okay, and if we're talking about a 4, yeah, I'm gonna have to go big on this one. And I don't like this, like manually setting the padding. What if we're talking about, I don't know, like 200 is okay as a number in this case, but what if we're talking about like a 10,000s? or like a million. I don't think it's going to fit, you know, the actual number. So this is not cool. If I remove the padding, then we have this, which leaves all this space at the top and at the bottom that we cannot really fix unless we opt into manually padding props. Let's see if there's like a prop or no, number or block props. Top, bottom, left and right. That's what we did. And there's still number. So yeah, if we want to add padding, then we are basically opting in to manually set the padding. If the... Let's actually try. Domain. Instead of like 300, we're gonna set this to be 1300, 13,000, 130,000. See that? So the number is gone here. We're just looking at zeros. So if we push the padding, we slowly get to see the actual number, right? But how am I to control this, and why can't I do it? Can it do it itself, like automatically? This doesn't even scroll. God damn it. This is gonna be a problem, right? Now we have this space, so it's not responsive. We want it to be responsive. What do we do in this case? If we set this to 0, it just goes. Phew. We can't really go through the whole data set and try to figure out the largest number and then do the padding. That's just like out of the question. Why is this happening? All right, so let's see. What if I set the padding to 0? As you can see, with let's not do minus 32 now. Again, makes no sense. What if I set the padding to be 24 on all levels? Again. It doesn't. It's not responsive. Otherwise, we'll have this. Style, background and parents. All right, let's see. Let's actually see parents. Padding, and I'll set the padding to 0. Doesn't change anything. Backgrounds doesn't change anything. The domain padding is okay because it pushes the whole chart to the right, so it leaves enough space for the letters. Because if I remove this, then we can see there's like an overlap here. So we do need the domain padding. Oh man, this is terrible. Okay. What we can do, at least like what is in our power, is to get the height right. So 147. And it's always gonna be 147. No, it's not gonna be, because we have a lot of extra padding now. So we need to come up with something like 250 or like 230. Yeah, this extra spacing really bothers me. Maybe it's on the bar padding. Set that to 0. Set the top to 0. Nope, not actually on the bar. I believe whatever we write here on the victory bar component gets replicated in all of these bar charts. Hey Jacob, how's it going? Yeah. So it is going to be a problem. Okay. Gotta get rid of this spacing. This side, on this side, and also there's like on the bottom. The width doesn't cut it. The height is okay, but we're overcompensating on the height because there's a lot of padding that we can turn on. So, or turn off, sorry. So if we do padding to 0 and set the height to like 147, then it does make sense, right? But look at the results. It's terrible. If we then did the, for example, the top is 0. It's always gonna be 0. Let's see the right. And we set the right to 32. Yeah. I want to set the left to 40. No, even more. Oh, yeah, we also needed to. All right, so left top is 16, right is 32. Top is too much. 0 cuts out the 200s. 6 is about right. Okay, so we'll keep it at 6. Makes no sense, but still. The right is okay-ish. Now, there might be some differences between like where the 5 ends and where the bar ends. But I guess we should turn a blind eye to that. Yeah, it's like really close. Maybe like, I don't know, 31. Man. It actually is 31. Oh man, I can't do that. Can't be 31. It has to be 32. And then we have the bottom. Let's try 16. More. 20. More 24. That's all right. And now we can also, I don't know, do 180. And this is looking decent. But it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work if we have bigger numbers, bigger expenses. Yeah, totally unusable. We just see the zeros. We only see the zeros. Man, this is terrible. Why is like not the left axis? Why is it not aligned at the beginning of the chart and just make the whole chart basically push the contents of the whole chart based on how, just like a flex box, right? We have the first element, it takes up all of the space it needs, and then we have the second element, which is the charts, and it's flex 1. Why can't it be like that? What are you using for the charts? Yeah, it's the Victory Native package. A viewer from the last stream actually suggests that we use the Victory Native. And it's okay, but yeah, I'm struggling with this. It's like I have to compensate. Why do we have to compensate? That's like terrible. If I don't add the padding, then we have this huge gap that we can't, it's like it's unaccounted for. And then, for example, if we do the domain and like change the, it still doesn't work. See that? It still doesn't support. It's like, yeah, 1200. I mean 12,000, and the one is not even rendering correctly. If I do minus 32, it's here. It cuts down the, like it's oh man. What if we don't add the width as well, like in total, and then like remove? Yeah, it works fine for, it works fine for like D3JS. Oh, that's fine. Let's actually say, can we use D3 in React Native? Because I think like D3 is the top of the food chain. And if we can use D3, I haven't worked with D3 before, but I've heard a lot of cool stuff about D3. If we can use D3 in React Native, that'll be super cool. Yeah, that would be super cool if we can use D3. Yeah, or bottom, depending on how you view it. Exactly. That's actually, it's a good D3JS React. There has to be a port. There has to be a port. Or maybe it's even like supported straight out the box. Okay, so drawing the graph. Animated view, and then there's the SVG. Okay. And then we do this, basically. These are the lines. There's the path. This is a map. There's the ports with D3 and React Native. Align chart, circular progress, and pie charts. They don't have a bar chart, and also the last published is like 4 years ago, so we're not really gonna base on that. SVG graph for React Native and D3JS. Yeah, so as I understood from the previous post, we're basically using the React Native SVG package to obtain the SVG, the G, and direct, and then we combine all of these into like the chart that we're looking to draw, right? Then we, for example, generate the data using the D3JS. Let's say D3 is here. Then we're using D3.scalePoint domain within this domain and range, and with the padding of 1. There's also the Y domain as well. Yeah, you can use D3JS either for the data or the helpers, or use both. yeah, D3 probably like uses the window object. And we need to do, if we want to use the dimensions of the window, there's like a different way to do it in React Native, because there's no window object in React Native. It's not really a browser. So if D3.js uses the window, or I think document as well, and it's not gonna work, right? We need to find a port. Should be able to pipe any size or such to it. Yeah. I mean, it does require us to do a little bit more work, but we'll basically have, yeah, we'll basically have all of the, like the full control of how we draw our charts, even add an accompanying, like an accompanying rect behind. Let me see, like behind the actual bar, we can put another bar which is going to be like the background, right? So people can see. Yeah, I mean, this is totally doable with D3 and that. You could maybe copy some code from a project I worked on if you'd like. I have worked on a finance app that does cash flow analysis. So it has a bar chart in this vein. And you did that with D3 only, right? Without React Native, with just like React probably. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I think we can like figure it out using D3 just as like a helper with an alpha version of Tauri. Oh, that's cool. I haven't worked with Tauri. That was the Rust-based thingy for desktop apps, right? If I remember. Yeah. Multi-platform deployment. Okay. Oh, there's mobile as well. That's cool. It's built on Rust, so it's blazing fast. Yeah, we gotta like take a look at Tauri maybe later on. It's a cool. I think it's a cool tech. Yeah. Should we be doing this? Like manually draw SVGs, but then use the, yeah, basically like use D3 to come up with the data. Or beta didn't help with that at all. What do you mean you didn't help? Are you like part of the Tauri team? I'm kind of tempted to actually try out this. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm honestly kind of tempted to try out this approach to like manually draw. I mean, don't actually draw charts and stuff like that, but just to like, we want to draw an SVG. So I'm a bit biased. Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, I really think we should master this, because I think it's going to be super cool if we did. Right? Because we're not really drawing charts, we're basically drawing SVGs. We're looping through the data for each of the items. We do this, the X and Y. Graph bar width. Graph bar width. 5 is like each bar. Yeah. We're not gonna have any interactions on the chart as well, you know, itself. So it's all right even if it's like a static SVG without any events and stuff like that. Oh man, let's try this. This looks like a cool thing to do. Like we're basically just drawing SVGs. I think I have the React Native SVG package installed. Yeah. And then there's also Victory Native, which actually uses React Native SVG under the hood. No, it's alright, man. Appreciate it, actually. Yeah, so let's actually, yeah, let's go that route. I'm going to remove the Victory Native package, and we'll try to do this without any trainer wheels. We're gonna do this from scratch. And D3 also, yeah, we also need to yarn add D3. Nice. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna import React Native SVG, JBolda. Let's actually check it out. GitHub, JBolda, Fina TR. Alright, cool. Check out the source. Probably components, flex table, form, tab view, elements, pages, financial independence. Is it here? Like, is it here somewhere? Flow. Bar chart. There we go. Thank you. Okay, we have the D3 here. So the select is like a querying for the element that has a bar section class. We select the G and also the line. Then we draw charts with the bar and line. The draw charts, bar build. Okay, so bar build is like an object that has these functions. Okay. Init bar, init line. These are the blobs init line. Then we have the draw bar. And the draw bar is a function. Takes up all of these props. Takes care of the colors. Yeah. It basically uses the blobs. And then it does all of these query on top of the blobs. Yeah, this is D3 doing both the data and the SVG layouts. Yeah. Because it does all that select, querying for the elements, and then probably like enter, insert, we create a new G here, we add the class, we add the style, we merge it with something else. Then there's also events, which is pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll use something like, I guess we'll still use D3, at least for like the data and stuff. Let's see, scale point, domain, range. See, but yeah, we're still like looping through everything. D3.max. We pass on the data and then we get the value. So yeah, there's still a lot of, you know, I mean, it's gonna happen anyways, right? In this case, we're looping through the data to figure out what is the max value for the Y domain, for the vertical domain. If we leave that to the chart library, it's still gonna do the same. So this way, we're just like implementing things on our own instead of using a library. We're still gonna loop. So that's all right. Okay, looping is all right in our case. We use a library and then loop again. That could be avoided. All right, let's check this out. So let's pull in SVG line and rect from the React Native SVG library, and also bring in D3. So we have the graph margin and graph bar width. We use this once. I'll use this twice, okay. Axis and bars. In that case, let's define these as like a local constants. Maybe we can like hoist these margin and width. No, not really. Maybe the margin. But the bar width is gonna change for the other charts. Let me see how much time I have for live streaming. I got until 10:15. That's like 45 minutes. That's all right. Okay, and then what are we doing? We have the SVG height and width, which are like 300 pixels. But we're not gonna do that. We wanna bring our own values. Okay, so the height is 147 according to our Figma. The width we're gonna do that thingy with the dimensions dot get window with -32, because we want to leave like 16 pixels on the side. So there's the width, there's the height. Beautiful. I'm gonna remove all of this and start fresh. We have the wait a minute. We have the SVG here with the width and height already set. We have the data, and the data, what does the data look like? Has a value and has a label. What does our data look like? It has a day, which is a label, and it has a total, which is the value. Width times 0.9. Like instead of -32. Is that what you're referring to? For the width, right? Not for the height. You mean like width, instead of -32, do the times 0.9. I don't know. I mean, I think 32. I think like the spacing is pretty fixed. Yeah, the spacing is pretty fixed. I think it's like a, you know, the Apple design guidelines thingy. I think they recommend leaving 16 pixels on the sides. You know, just so it's like the content is pretty much not really touching the edge of the screen. I think, yeah, it's like iOS only, and I think it was part of the guidelines. You can draw things like the nav bar is like a full width, but then the icon is at least 16 pixels further from the, you know, from the edge of the screen. And that's why I'm like making this lazy -32, and that's it, you know, like left and right. But yeah, we'll figure this out because we need to add a 16 margin to the left to center it. Okay. Then we have the G, which is the graph height, but that's calculated. Graph height is like the SVG height -2 times the graph margin. And the graph margin was like 50. 20 actually, yeah. Okay. Let's bring in the G element, and to Y is the graph height. Is this? Yeah, we reused this, so might as well calculate it. Okay, so yeah, there's the SVG width and height, and then there's also the graph width and height. Yeah. So I believe this is where we can add the margin. The graph margin should be 16 in our case, not 20, right? Because we'll draw the SVG using these values, but then, yeah, actually it should be 16. Yeah, like this is the graph, but it has 16 on the side, has 16 on the top, and 16 on the bottom. So in this case, for example, the graph would be this block right here. Yeah, this would be the SVG, sorry. This would be the SVG width and height, which is like 390 by 180. But this is the graph, which takes into account, let's see, which takes into account the SVG height -2 times the margin. And that's exactly right? So yeah, beautiful. Okay, so figure this out. The graph margin, will keep this at 16 because that's the space that we wanna, but then we don't want to do -32 in this case. Yeah, because we'll calculate that here. Nice. And now the SVG height, it's not going to be 147, it's going to be 180. Yeah, to basically make up the 180. That's not going to be 180 as well. 147 times plus 2 times 16, 179. Yeah, that's why I had 17 pixels of padding there. Okay, so we have 179 for the height, and that also includes the margins, and the end result for the graph itself will be 147. We can, yeah, we can definitely, or we can do like 147 plus 2 times graph margin as well. So we'll basically control how, we'll automate the margin, we'll just control how tall we want the graph to be, and then we add the margin to it, and then we have the height. Yeah. And then we also do the minus, so we're like adding the margins, and then we're removing them for the graph itself. But it's all you know, controlled by this value. That makes sense. And the width is pretty much the full width. Yeah. Okay, moving on. We have the data, and in our case the properties are named differently, but that's about it. And we want to do the X scale point and Y scale point. So let's see. First we calculate the domain. And we're mapping the labels. Okay, so January, February, March. Okay. For the X. Okay. This is pretty... Yeah. Alright, so let's see. X scale point, X domain. We're going to grab the group expenses and just like return the day. These are the group expenses. Yeah, just return the day. We need the range as well. X range. Exactly. So for the x-axis, the range is just the width of the graph. And we needed something else. We need x. And there's some D3 magic now. We called it scale point, the domain, the range, and the padding. Okay, let's learn what scale point does. Probably creates like some sort of a scale point, then it attaches the domain, which is the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it attaches the range, which is from 0 until the graph width. And also it adds some padding to it. And it's 1 in this case. And we need to do the same thing for the Y scale point. So the Y domain, we're not gonna actually return the day, but we are going to return the total. No, actually we want to find the maximum. Okay, it makes sense. Yeah, instead of data, we're gonna do grouped expenses and now find the E dot total, because that is the actual value. Okay. Now we have the Y range domain in all these things. Yeah, instead of graph width, we want to do graph height. Change up the domain and range. And there's no padding. Okay, that's cool. We'll see about that. But yeah, basically, after we add the G element, and we also forgot to do the graph height for the Y prop, we want to render the bars, and then we want to add a line as the bottom axis. We're not gonna add a line for the bottom axis because we don't want any lines, right? We just want to loop through the data. This is gonna be the grouped expenses, and the label is the day. The value is the total, and there's a fill, and yeah, we'll just do white. So technically this should render this thing right here without, you know, without the bottom line. Scale linear versus scale point. Let's see. D3 versus scale points. Scale functions. How to use D3 scale functions to transform data values into visual values such as positions and colors. Oh. After explaining scale basics, we cover linear, okay. Take an input, usually a number, and return a value, like a coordinate, a color, a length, or a radius. Nice. Alright, so like scale linear, it accepts 0 to 10, the range is 0 to 600. Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Yeah, basically, we're gonna have like 10 elements and we are going to scale them on the range from 0 to 600. So if we ask for the last element, that's the 600. Got it, got it. And it's also fuzzy, right? So we can ask for 7.5 and it's going to calculate the position that 7.5 is in the domain is going to return the same position, but on this scale as well. Got it? Yeah. So what we did right here with that scale thingy, we got the X domain, which is actually these. Yeah, which is actually all of the days. It's like an array of days. The range is from 0 to graph width, which is like the full graph width. So if we ask for Monday, it's going to return us, it's going to return us like we have like 16 pixels as the margin. If we ask for Monday, I don't know, it's going to return like 16 or like 20 based on this padding of 1 or like something else. And we can use that as a pixel value. You have set up helper functions to quickly scale any value. Yeah, I understand now. Cool. This is we don't have a type for this. Okay, we should have had a type for that. Or maybe we thought that we were going to pass. Now we'll see. I don't know. Let's try this out. Yarn iOS and see what we get. We have the graph bar width, and that's still like 5. We want to change that to, we'll see, about 32. RX. I feel like D3 is kind of intimidating at first glance, but digging a bit is pretty powerful once you grasp it a bit. Yeah, I know, and like that's the exact reason why I actually wanted to like take a better look at D3, because yeah, I think it's pretty powerful. And like if you're working in the JS ecosystem with these kind of things, you know, having the ability to use D3 only as like a data, you know, like a data helper tool, I think it's pretty useful. All right, this is what we get now. We have 2 bars. Is this like the radius? So we can set this to 10. Yeah, it is. We got 2 bars. Did we have like 2 bars? How many? Let's see. How many expenses do we actually have? Got some errors. 2 children with the same key, Tuesday. Okay, well, we'll figure this out. Monday, Sunday. Yeah, you see that? Let me just clear the terminal, remove this, save it. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we have again Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That is the data. That's the data. And not the values within the groups, yeah. But how did we get the data? Because these are the grouped expenses. Expenses dot reduce. We get the date. And we push the amounts. And return that group. So it does that again. So these are like these are not really grouped. Right? Yeah, because we actually, we leave this to the library, but we need to consolidate this. So we get the day, right? And we do, if for example, there is no. What's the ACC in this case? Everything, and this is the expense. Yeah. So if like there is exactly if there is an expense with that day, we want to find that. Like existing. We want to find that. And exactly, just like get the expense, the amount of the current expense, and like add that to the existing one. So we have only one entry for Monday, but the value, like the total for that entry is going to be all of the, you know, Monday expenses, all the amounts summed up. If, for example, there is no, if there is no existing, then yeah, just do, this is the first one, yeah. And get the amount. And I also have these default values that I need. Yeah, these are the default values, and I need to have these in order to generate all of the bars. And now we have nothing. Or let's see, do we have expenses only for Sunday? I feel like we have more. We have 100 on a Monday, 200 on a Tuesday, and 300 on a Sunday. Yeah, 100 on a Monday, 200 on a Tuesday, and like 300 on a Sunday. But we only get one graph, so that's not cool. But we brought the group expenses to the format that we actually want. And we also don't have the error with the key. All right, let's do this. Basically, I'm going to render. I'm going to render a view. No, not a view. When I want to render like this piece right here, an empty fragment, and like render this rectangle, but then render again same thing, but the height is gonna be full. It's gonna be the graph height, and the fill is not gonna be white. It's going to be this color right here. Free to log out the data. I'm not sure, I haven't tried that yet. System gray 04. What if we tried, because I don't think we have that in the theme. Theme colors, backgrounds, card. Let's try the card one. Oh man, okay. Why? No. And of course not total. The Y is pretty much full. The Y should be the full. Is that the graph height? Nope. But we're kind of getting there. And I like it. So this is the item day background, and this is the item day. And this way we'll, you know, it's not going to complain that we have the same keys. Because this rectangle is going to be the background one. So width should be the same as this, but the Y should not be the same as this. What if I add like a 150 minus 150? Oh man, what is that? Why do we have like 2 now? Okay, so that was like something else. But we have the maximum. Okay, we did have the maximum defined here, if I'm correct. That is like the Y yeah, the Y domain last element. So that should be the Y. Y domain -1. Not really. Undefined. What was the... Like, I want to find the last... But it's actually 1. Yeah. Not -1. Okay, so there's the Y. There's also the height. And the height is like the item total. Probably want to do the same thing, right? Not really. This is okay, and this should be the same as this one, but we want to do... Huh. Each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Well, we should have all the keys unique. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The totals are all okay. And these are all of the items that we're looping through. And the keys have the -BG here, and they don't have it here. So I'm not sure where is the duplicate key. Plus, we don't see all of them. So that's like the different. That's like another thing. That we don't see all of the expenses. We don't see one. Not sure. Not sure where that's coming from. It's probably one of these values. Yeah. Let's try this. Let's see what the X value is going to be for Monday. 28.75. What about Sunday? It's gonna be almost 300. Okay. And what is the graph width? $358. So basically the Sunday should be pretty much at the end. If our bar is 32 pixels, then we're going to take 297 and we're going to subtract 16. And it's going to give us this value. It's pretty close to this. Plus we have offset. It should be okay. On top of each other. Well, they shouldn't be, right? Because like we have the X and the Y different. And we're like looping through all of the expenses. We get the item. The item.day is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The X values are different for like Monday through Sunday. So it returns this range basically. And then we also have the different total. It's like 300 and 0. And we multiply that by -1. Why do we multiply that by -1? So it's like on the top. So probably 0 is at the bottom. and like one, like 0 is at the bottom and 100 is even like further down below. So we basically flip the bar like on the other side by multiplying this by -1. That makes sense. That does make sense. But it looks like everything is broken now. Why is Y the main? Yeah, it's like nothing happens. What if we remove this second rectangle that we added? We still have the same issue. It still complains that we have duplicate keys. Regardless of this. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why. Yeah. It's in the weekly chart. And that's where we are. We are in the weekly charts. Okay, so let's log out a few things then. To log out the item.day, because that is what we use for the keys. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I see no duplicates here. And these are the keys that we loop through. In weekly charts. Is there a way to debug the view? Element inspector. Tap something. I'm gonna tap this. Oh man, it's here. Yeah, it's inside of the SVG. Yeah. We cannot really debug this. And maybe it's not even the... I mean, if it's not... It has to be this. Oh, you mean the... Yeah. Because we have the fragment here. Yeah. Let's see. Let's get the key on top of it. So item.day is going to be the key. We'll bring back the old fragment. And let's do a... So I'm going to hide the element inspector and then do a full refresh. Clean up the terminal and see. Totally right. You are totally right. Thank you. Okay, so that was the issue. The fragment itself actually wants the key prop. I guess we can remove these two. Yeah. And we are still struggling here. Okay, so I added fixed values for the height and the Y. Should it be like my... Okay. Got it. Yeah. All right, so let's try this. We're gonna get the Y domain. We're gonna get the second element and we're going to multiply this by -1. Same thing for the height as well. So we should see full... What happened? It actually crashed on me. All right, let's try that. Oh, is it? No, it's actually the Y domain is actually it's an array of two numbers, 0 and the maximum of all of the. I'm not sure why it crashed, but let's see. Reports. Wow. It does actually crash. Crashed again. What if I don't multiply this by -1? I mean, it's stupid to like make a difference, but or maybe I don't know. Let's see. Now it's okay. Multiply this by -1. There we go. Multiply. We don't need to. Well, of course, we do need to multiply this by -1. Okay, so the height is actually, the height cannot be negative, but the y must be negative in order to position this from the top. And I believe we also need to account some sorts of like padding stuff. Minus, no, like plus, because we want to go below. And then how much do we need? 32? 320? 100. This is crazy. 200. So the Y domain. This is crazy. Let's see how, like, what is the actual value of the maximum? 300. So, and that's all right. It's 300. That's minus 300 plus 200 is like minus 100. I don't. But that's the height, right? Oh, okay. Okay, got it. So we basically need. Got it. We need to pass the Y. Right? Or not? I believe we need to pass this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. The scaling. We forgot the scaling. That's why we had these values. Yeah. All right. We have the beautiful backgrounds, which we didn't have in the other apps, in the other frameworks. Let's see. We have 10 more minutes, 12 to be more precise. All right, but I like this. I actually like this approach. This is the approach that people need to take. Okay, we have this issue right here with the actual, because we have more than this, right? We have the JSON stringify, grouped expenses. We have values for Monday and Tuesday. I'm not sure why we can't see. We can see their placeholders right here, but we cannot see. Oh man, do you know that we're gonna have the same issue with the values? Because we don't even have the labels here, and already our Monday starts here. Right? We're gonna have the issue. I feel like we're gonna have the issue. Access labels. Yeah, I believe we can find that here. Yeah. This example has labels as well, but we'll see. I guess we'll be doing that on the next episode, which is gonna be on Thursday. But the thing here is to debug why we don't get the, we only have the like the Sunday thingy. So for example, for the Y domain, I can do this to make sure. No. All right, so what? That is the Y domain, and if we try to scale that, wait, stop. Yeah, because Y scales is a scale. It's not a scale point. It's scale linear. We're scaling the X as a point because X is oh man, I have no idea why we do. There we go. Why do we have scale points for the X value, but we have scale linear for the Y value? But this is exactly what we want. This is exactly what we want. There's the chart, which pretty much is, the width is 39. Okay, let's actually change that real quick. So the bar width is 39. Okay. Oh man, this is exciting. We're gonna build this exact same scale point. Is more like value mapping kind of thing, which you can use with the days. All right, yeah. That's why we have the point for the X, because the domain, yeah, the domain is not, is that like, does it have to do something with the domain? Yeah, because exactly, linear is fuzzy. It can have values in between. Point just returns the exact values based on the domain and the range. So for example, in this case, the range would be from like 0 to, I don't know, 300 and, for example, 20 pixels, because that is the width of the screen, for example. And if we ask for Monday, which is a value from the domain and is the first value, then it's probably gonna add like padding and stuff like that if we tell it to. But it's either gonna return either 0 or like 20 or like 16 or something like that. But for example, for the Y point, we use a linear scale because our range is going to be from 0 to graph height, which, I don't know, 147, let's say. And the domain has values from 0 to whatever is the highest. And in our case, Sunday has 300, right? And if we ask, like if we ask for Tuesday, which is 200, it's going to map out, yeah, it's going to scale 300 to 147, and it's also going to scale 200, and it's going to probably return, I don't know, 95, for example. And that would be 95 pixels of height. Yeah. Yeah. All right, got it now. That's why we use point and linear. Point for X and linear for Y, because we know all of the values here. And like, we don't expect to have like values in between. We know that Monday is like 20 and Tuesday is like, I don't know, 50, for example, or 60. And that's it. But for the Y scale point, yeah, values could differ. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Jacob. Okay. And now we have this, and I think this is worthy of a commit. So let's do fixing charts, fixing weekly charts. I'm just gonna do that. Fixing weekly charts. There we go. Let me also post a repo. I had a command on Twitch, but I don't have it here. Goodbye money, React Native. Is it gonna yell if I paste this link here? There we go. Okay. So there's the repo if you want to check it out. There's the repo if you want to check it out. And I should probably share the Figma as well. Why not? It's open source. Copy the link. This is gonna be like, yeah. Okay. And here's also the Figma link. If you want to check out the UI design. And yeah, on Thursday, we're gonna work on adding the labels for the days and like for the values. And we'll probably use, yeah, we're gonna use pretty much the same thing for the labels as we did for, as we kind of did for that. No, the range will be from 0 to the highest, and then we can add in the like points in the middle, right? So 0 to the highest, and domain is from 0 to 2. If we ask for 1, it's going to return us half of the maximum. So we could, yeah, I believe that's how we can calculate these numbers as well. If we ask for 0, it's 0. If we ask for 2, it's going to be the maximum value. If we ask for 1, it's going to be the half value, half of the maximum, basically. We don't even need a scale to do that, honestly. If we have like 3 numbers, we can just add 0, we can add the maximum, and we can add the maximum divided by 2. But then also we need to scale the positions. So this is going to be at the top, this is going to be at the bottom, and this is going to be in the middle. We probably need to scale that. But okay, I think it's okay. I think it's time to wrap it up now. This was a productive stream, as opposed to like a few streams ago we were battling with chart libraries. But yeah, in the end, just drawing the SVGs by ourselves turned out to be a pretty productive and probably the best probably the best value probably the best way that we can take in order to draw our charts. And as you also saw, we managed to add our background bars, which we couldn't do with the chart because we were pretty limited. And yeah, in the next episode, which is going to be on Thursday in like 2 days, it's not going to be at the same time. Maybe it's going to be like a bit earlier, like 1 hour earlier than today. We're going to continue with our charts, and we're just going to add the axis labels and the not axis label, the tick labels, I think. Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, we'll continue working on the charts. And I believe after, you know, finishing the weekly chart, we can focus on adding the other charts, and those are gonna be fun. So we're talking about monthly chart, which has either like 28 or like 31 little bars that show up in the chart, and that's gonna be fun as well. And the yearly chart at the end is just gonna have like 12 bars, 1 bar for each month, and it will just calculate all of the expenses that occurred the same, you know, at that particular month. And then we need to implement an interesting mechanism where we have the report screen, and the whole screen should be swipeable to the left. And that's going to jump on the previous period. So if we're looking at the weekly chart, that means we're looking at the current week. If we swipe left, we should see the previous week, the expenses from the previous week. And if we swipe left, then the expenses from 2 weeks ago. And same goes for the monthly. So if we're looking at the monthly chart, swipe left, then we should be looking at the previous month's expenses, right? So we'll figure that out. We'll see how we can implement that in React Native, but it's gonna be fun. And then after that, we need to install RealmDB for database. Could abstract directs into a separate component. Yeah, that could be also fun. We just need to like get the values and that's it. So we don't actually do. Yeah, we'll try that. And yeah, then we need to install RealmDB, and then we need to set up the Sentry SDK, so we monitor for errors and performance issues, etc. And I believe we'll be done for the app, because this is the last screen for the app. We do have a legend, but we kind of didn't want to implement that for some reason in the other apps. Using the chart libraries in the other frameworks turned out to be pretty tedious. So we decided to just skip on the whole chart legend at the bottom, although it does bring value. Maybe we'll attempt that in React Native, because we're drawing our own charts now as opposed to using a library. All right, but yeah, thank you all for watching. I think it's time to wrap this up. See you in 2 days. All right, ciao, ciao.